Eric is here. HBL, howdy. How's everybody doing? We'll wait a little bit to get some folks in here. And in the meantime, if you are here, let us know where you're coming from, and if you are wearing a fragrance, what you're wearing. Aromatics, what's up? Sense of Gents, hello. AJ is wearing Greenlee. Devin, what's up, man? H. Worth. All right, you guys are filing in now. Mitten from Turkey. Hello. Detroit. Gray Vetiver in Germany. Great choice. What's up, Safe Nathan? Greg, what's up, man? Kyler. How we doing? Aromatics, thank you. Always trying. Ood Touch. Still on. Sweaty legs. All right. J7, Justin. Never seen it spelled like that. Clinton. I like it, though. Antoine, what's up? Saint Bartha and Cedric Boise at the beach. Kyler, are you wearing both of them right now, or did you just bring both of them with you? Luis Gonzalez in Florida, Ultramall for fun. Cool. Mutabazi, excuse me. United Arab Emirates, welcome. Happy Saturday, everyone. Jeannie, hello. Oklahoma, we got Dallas, Fort Worth. Tammy, good to see you. No, all right, what a mix there. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for tuning in, even though you're driving. Hope you have a good drive. Low medial extreme. Okay, must be a little chilly there. Layering. All right, Kyler. Adi, LaVenture Night. Very nice. Cruz del Sur, Xerjoff. All right, y'all are wearing quite a range of things. Okay, Bennett's wearing Creed Viking. Love it. Mitten. Thank you very much. I wear a size medium, at least from this brand, which is called Into the AM. I talk about them from time to time. Okay, so I'm not going to waste a lot of time. We have a lot to get through here. So I hope you enjoy the ride here. We have about 20 fragrances that I want to share with you. Before we jump into that, Fred, thank you so much for the congratulations. For those who don't know, I did just get married. Grace and I just got married last weekend, and it was a wonderful time. It was a whirlwind. It was perfect. Honestly, it was exactly what we wanted. And then we went on a little vacation to San Diego all last week and had a really, really great time there. Okay, what brand style cabinet is that? Man, I don't remember. I bought this online, possibly from like Home Depot, something like that. Okay, so here's what we're doing today. Again, summer fragrances. The funny thing is, if I show you what it looks like outside right now, which I will, it does not look like summer here. Quite the opposite. It's rainy, it's gloomy, it's gray, it's wet. But nonetheless, summer is around the corner, and it might already be hot for a lot of you. So because of that, we're going to get into some summer fragrances. I've done a few videos touching on summer related topics with fragrance, and today is, I guess, my official top 10 summer fragrances, which is a video trope that has been done thousands of times at this point, and I've done it on my channel dozens of times, maybe not that many, a lot of times. As long as I've been making videos on YouTube, I've done a top summer list. I've tried to get away from the traditional seasonal video because it's just been the same. It has been the same format for a long time. I've experimented with some other things. I think I did a vlog back in the fall, which was a lot of fun and a lot of work. I also have done this before. I've done a live top 10. I did that for, I think, the fall last year of 2020. I think I may have done that. So I've tried some different things rather than just sit in front of the camera, press record, this fragrance, this one, buy. You know, we've done that so many times. So I figured it's a lot more fun to just do it live. And I can catch your reactions in real time. So we have 10 designer fragrances. We have 10 niche fragrances. And we'll be alternating designer niche, all the way up to the top of the ladder. I do have them ordered more or less in order of what I think I'll be wearing the most, or least to most, so to speak. But it's not really that absolute. So take it that way. If anything sounds interesting to you, no matter where it is in the lineup, I recommend checking it out for sure. Before we get started, let me make sure I'm not missing anything. Luis, thank you so much for the super chat. That means the absolute world to me. Thank you for supporting the channel and for funding my fragrance addiction. I appreciate it. So I can keep bringing you guys new fragrances on the channel. I'm kidding about the addiction thing. Kinda. Okay, let's dive right in. And I'll be chatting with you as we go. Here at the number 20 spot. Again, this is not the worst fragrance on this list. That's not what this means. This is a new fragrance to me. I'm still getting to know it. I've only given it one full wearing. I enjoy it, but it's still new. So I can't really speak about it that much. I do have another video coming out early next week with Grace that will feature this fragrance along with a couple others in this list. And that's going to be an awesome video. You don't want to miss that. This one from Bottega Veneta, this is called Illusione or Illusion for him. And this was a part of my recent designer haul that I did recently, if recent didn't already explain that. And this was one that was actually suggested by a couple of you on the stream. I did a live purchasing session and a couple people said, hey, check out this one. And they said it was simple, but it was interesting. So I've given it some time and I have to agree, it is simple, but it is interesting. This is a very easy to wear fragrance, but it is done in a way that's a little more classy, a little bit more sophisticated. This is mostly kind of bitter citruses with this almost clean muskiness that makes it smooth and kind of creamy as it dries with some woods. Now, frankly, just to be real with you, and I will mention this in the video I do with Grace, John, thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate you. Thank you. It reminds me a little bit of baby wipes. I only got that association when Grace smelled it and said, it reminds me of baby wipes. And then I smelled it. I see what you mean. But that's not all it is. It's not just this baby wipes accord. It is, you do get citruses, you get woods, there's a bitterness, there's an herbal quality to it, there's texture, there's layers to it. But it is a simple fragrance. But it smells wonderful. It smells of great quality. It's not going to last very long. This is something I would wear during the daytime. I might dress it up a little bit. Again, it's a little classy. So I may not wear a shirt like this. I'll throw on a collared shirt. But I probably will save it for when the sun is out and I want to have a classy vibe during the daytime. It's great for that. Very, very gentlemanly, almost classic leaning, but not dated. It's a modern scent. So that's our first pickup, Bottega Veneta Illusione. This is a good scent. I like the house in general. This is a really cool bottle design. I love this cap. You don't really see that very much. I like that they're trying to do something different. So that's our first one. Let me know if you've tried this. Have you tried Illusion or Illusione, however you say it, from Bottega Veneta. I know they have a version for women as well. Let's see here. J.O., good afternoon. Thank you all for all the congratulations. That means a lot. Okay, moving on. Our first niche pick. This comes from the house of Micallef, and this is new to me, so that's why it is relatively low. I mean, it is at the lowest part of the list here, but fantastic fragrance. I actually gave it my first full wearing yesterday. I think I sprayed it maybe like 5 to 7 times, something like that. Would I say it is a summer version of the Pour Homme? Not at all. No, this is a completely different scent profile. The Pour Homme is definitely more on the old school, kind of piney side of things. Okay, and this is from Micallef. As I said, I gave it a full wearing yesterday. I really enjoyed it. This is true classy gentleman vibes. This is barbershop leaning. This is a fougere. This is cleanliness. This is refinement. This is from Micallef, a strange name. I have to look at it to say it. It is 06130 Grasse, as in the city of Grasse. Pour Homme. They have a Pour Femme as well. And as I said, this is a fougere, at least to my nose. It's kind of like citrus aromatic meets the creamy cleanliness of a fougere. It's beautiful. It's uplifting. It's herbal. It's clean. It's fresh. Fresh, very open. It does smell a little bit like shaving foam, honestly. What it reminds me of a little bit on the skin is a niche version, and there's a lot of, I guess, niche versions of this fragrance that you could tie it to. A niche version of At the Barber's from Replica from Margiela. This is not on the list. This is one of my old fragrance loves. I still enjoy it. As far as barbershop fragrances go, it's not the most interesting, but it's great quality and it's a great entry point into this genre. If you're looking for a way to get into these classier, almost classic leaning style men's fragrances in the fougere genre, this is a great one. This is a little bit more leathery and a little bit more outright shaving foam than the Micallef I was just speaking about. So this is more aromatic. There's something a little less sweet about it. And it is definitely quite woody. Louis says, does it have vetiver or more oceanic? This, I don't know if it has vetiver. It could, but it is not oceanic. When I say fresh and clean, I'm not talking about aquatic. I'm talking about more soap, if anything. It's really clean, it's classy, and it's stuck on my skin for a good 7 or 8 hours, so I was really enjoying that. More to come. Not the most interesting fragrance, but very clean, very high quality, and something that you can get a lot of wear out of because it's very versatile. So that's one to check out. Again, it's called 06130 Grasse from Micallef. After after we finish the stream, I'll see if I can put some more information in the description box because honestly, I got the list together after I created the live stream, so I didn't get a chance to put all the links down. But there is, I think, a link to Max Aroma in the description where you can try actually a lot of these fragrances, so you can check them out. It could be the zip code if they use 5-digit zip codes in France. I don't know. Does anyone know? I imagine it does have to do with the location, though. There's something to that, of course. Okay, our next designer fragrance. This is number 18 out of 20 here on the list. One that I'm still getting to know. One that at least currently Grace is not crazy about on my skin. But I love it nonetheless, and I will be getting some wear out of it. I might reserve this a little bit more for the nighttime just because of the personality of the scent. Oh, Devin, thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate you. Have a good day at work, man. It's the prison number. Kelvin. Okay, Greg, good to see you. Dapper Fragrances Sauvage looks awesome. Okay, so once again, fragrance that I love, I'm growing to love, and I will be getting some wear out of it, mostly during the evenings. This is from Narciso Rodrigues. I did also feature this in my new haul video. This is called, for him, Bleu Noir Eau de Parfum. I'm going to give this a fresh spray on the strip here. I was smelling it earlier. I think this is wonderful. To me, it smells like a creamier, smoother, rounder, warmer version of a classic from Cartier, Declaration. And if you have not smelled that, I've been talking about it for a long time. Please check that out. That is an absolute classic. You got to get your nose on Cartier Declaration. It is timeless. It's a masterpiece, honestly, if you're asking me. But this is in that realm, perhaps a little bit more modernized. I think the original Bleu Noir Eau de Toilette also is in that realm of Declaration, maybe even more so because it's a little bit fresher than this. And the Declaration is a little bit more on the fresher side. That's like bitter orange, it's cardamom, it's bitter citrus, it's fresh and spicy, it's woody, but there's a complexity to it that's very special. This takes that same kind of vibe. It's woody. There's this bright citrusy quality. There's something almost bitter and spicy about it, but I don't think spices are listed in the note breakdown from what I can find, but it is a bit of a spicy fragrance, and you get a lot of warm, I think, amber and musk. This line, especially all the fragrances from Narciso Rodrigues, are known for their musk, and this falls in line with that. When I was getting this, I wanted to get the parfum, but they didn't have it. At the time, I was making my little haul from Fragrance Buy, and I was trying to get everything from one place. So I went with the Eau de Parfum because they had it. Lovely fragrance. Again, something I would wear at nighttime. Even with a little bit of warmth, it's going to do great. I'm going to dress it up, kind of like this bottle. I mean, just look at the bottle. They're kind of giving you a hint of the vibe that this gives. It is a darker scent. It is a more mysterious scent. It is very classy, but it works for the warmth. Not to say you can't wear it in the daytime, but that's just how I'll be wearing it. This is my list, and you do with it what you will. I'm inviting you to check them out if you want to. Okay, catch my whiff. Yeah, put them side by side. See if they smell similar to you. Hey, Sandy. Inky note. I'm not- Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. All right. Our next niche pick. And this is coming from Xerjoff. This is one I think I've had it for about a year now. And I've only worn it once. I wore it last summer to a wedding with Grace and actually really enjoyed it. Got some compliments on it. It just did really well. It was a hot wedding. It was outdoors, kind of miserable in that regard, honestly. But the event itself was great, especially as it started to cool off in the evening. And this fragrance was with me the whole time. This is called Uden from Xerjoff, as I just said. And to put it simply, this is a unique blend of some elements that you wouldn't really think of going together. We have coffee and rum and citrus, like a lemony citrus. Yes, it does smell a little bit like Chanel Allure Homme Edition Blanche, but a little bit has more depth to it, especially with that coffee. It is a little boozy. It's sweet, quite sweet. There's this, again, kind of lemony or grapefruit like citrusy freshness to it. So it is bright smelling, but it's kind of thick and rich at the same time. So I think it functions well as a transition scent into the evening because it does have a bright freshness, but that sweet richness is going to do a lot better when it's not too hot. Now, I wore it when it was hot in the heat of the day, and it actually did okay, but I think I enjoyed it more as it got cooler. So that's Uden. Let me know if you've tried this one. I see someone said they enjoyed Uden. Um, yeah, this is a good one from Xerjoff. Not my favorite from the house, but really solid. Thoughts on Tom Ford Bitter Peach? It wasn't for me the last time I tried it, but I only tried it on paper. JT, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. 27 years, no joke. Adam, what's up, man? Good to see you. Louise, thank you so much. How do I compare it to Naxos? Well, first of all, Naxos is not a fragrance I would reach for in the summertime. So for that regard, it's almost hard for me to compare them because they would serve different functions. And they do have quite different scent profiles. But if you're asking me which one I like more, that's a hard question to answer because they are quite different. Naxos is a fragrance that I haven't actually tried in a long time. I had a sample of it years ago. I wasn't moved by it in the same way that people were raving about it, saying how it was like the best from the house, and it just had a ton of hype. And I thought it was really good, but I didn't find it like, wow, this is the best tobacco fragrance I've ever smelled. But I do agree that it is one of the most unique tobacco fragrances out there, and I do plan on revisiting it. So I don't have enough information, unfortunately, to say which one I would prefer, but I do recommend checking out both because both are good. What's your most currently used spring summer fragrance or fragrances? Hard to say that because I wear something different every single day. Okay, next one up, our next designer fragrance. And you know what? One thing I meant to mention at the start of this video, I use the monikers designer and niche in the title, and I've been using them in the video because those are the common monikers and they're ones that people can relate to in terms of making a distinction between these types of fragrances. As I've talked about in some recent videos over the past month or two, I have chosen to evaluate fragrances on a niche by niche or niche. How do I say this? I've chosen to evaluate niche and designer, or actually, I'm going to call it niche and mainstream, on a fragrance by fragrance basis. So that means that there could be some fragrances from niche houses that I might consider mainstream, or fragrances that I consider, from designer houses to be more niche. And again, that's just me. You can take it or leave it. Doesn't have to affect the smell, but that's just what I am doing here. So our next one up, technically you would call this a niche house because they only make fragrances, but this fragrance is very clearly a mainstream like profile. It was meant to be mass appealing. In fact, it smells like another mass appealing fragrance. It's very nice. I'm still getting to know it. I will be doing a review on it soon. And this is coming from Michael Malul. This is their newly reformulated black tie. What number are we at? 20, 19, 18, 17. This is number 16 out of 20 on the list here. To put it simply, in my experience so far, again, I'll go more in depth in my review, this smells very similar to Dior Sauvage or Prada Lune Rosa Carbon, that type of profile, that almost like very super modern, super simple fougere, stripped down to smell a little bit like spicy shower gel. Citrus, pepper, a little bit sweet, a little creamy, a little warm as it dries. Frankly, most fragrances that I've tried in this realm, what I call the Dior Sauvage realm, I like more than Dior Sauvage, at least in terms of the eau de toilette. And this is in that camp. I kind of put this next to Prada Luna Rosa Carbon, which I also like more than Dior Sauvage, but this one actually lasts longer. This actually performs better than Prada Luna Rosa Carbon. In all transparency, the brand sent me this fragrance a couple years ago, back when it was in a different bottle style. I did a review on it. They sent me the whole Couture collection here. Again, this is called Black Tie. And I wasn't really impressed with any of them because they didn't have a lot of presence. They didn't really last. And as a result, they kind of flew off my radar. Now, I told the brand, and I was not the sole purpose for them making these changes, but they did let me know that they were planning to reformulate, and they did, and I have to say it's for the better. It is stronger, it has more presence. It's a little stronger than Luna Rosa Carbon, but not as strong as Dior Sauvage, so keep that in mind. I'll go more into depth in an upcoming review, but for now, that is Black Tie from Michael Malul. Alrighty, up next, moving into my next pick. This is a niche fragrance here. And this is coming from the House of Fragrance du Bois. This is also a fragrance that I would personally reserve for the nighttime. It is fresh-ish, but it's not fresh in the most traditionally summer way. It's not a ton of citruses and aromatics and cleanliness and soapiness and aquatic and things like that. Although it does have the word blue in the name, it's fresh in a strange way. This is called Ood Blue Intense. So technically an oud fragrance, but blue implying that there's a freshness here. It is, however, fresh primarily by resins, which is so strange. There's like a fresh resin quality. There's like a maybe fresh incensey quality to it. It's fresh and spicy as well. There are some citruses in here, but not overtly a citrus fragrance. I'm actually going to give it a little spray here. A wonderful fragrance, fantastic performance. A lot of the time, I have to say, if you're looking for a great performance, niche is the way to go. A lot of the time, you will find that. Not every time, but that is something that for those of you who like performance, who wanted to stick around, have that sillage, high quality stuff, I have to say. But don't blind buy it. Don't go out and buy this bottle. Sample it if it sounds interesting. Yeah, so this is fresh and spicy. There might be something like cardamom in here. There might be a little bit of orange or something kind of bitter citrusy, but it's mostly kind of balsamic and a little sweet and again kind of resinous. There's an interesting texture to the scent that at first glance you're like, yeah, it smells like kind of clean, fresh, but then you smell into it more and you're like, no, there's more here. There's a lot going on here. A really interesting take on a very easy to wear fragrance. It does have a classiness to it, but I do think it could be pretty versatile. This could be kind of a signature. This could be almost a dumb reach if you consider a fragrance this expensive to be a dumb reach. No, no shame either way, but it's nice. I have to say it's worth checking out if you're looking for something that's easy to wear, but that is off the beaten path, that is leaning into higher quality territory. Ood Blue Intense is one I can easily recommend for that. Okay, moving up into our next designer fragrance, and this is coming from Lacoste. This is one that is not, oh, Mr. I didn't even see this, Mr. Ernest Angelo. Thank you so much for your super chat. And thank you for your congratulations. Really appreciate that. I'm missing some of your comments. I do apologize. Let me go back a bit. Okay. Good place for jazz in Portland. The 1905. That's a place I play at pretty often. This one very expensive. Yes. Again, we'll be alternating between designer and I'm saying mainstream and niche tends to be pretty expensive. So that's just where we're at. Okay, next one up. We're looking at, I guess, number 15. No, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. This is number 14. Now we're moving. I don't want to take up more than an hour of your time here. Hopefully, quite a bit less than that. This is coming from Lacoste, I think, as I said. And this is a flanker of their famous Blanc line. But this is quite different from the others. And this is a special edition, which I think would explain that. This is Lacoste L1212 Blanc, whatever they call it, the Roland Garros edition. If you're not familiar with Roland Garros, the Roland Garros tournament is a very well-known annual tournament in Paris. And this was created as a special edition to that tournament. So I think at least for a time, you could only buy it at the tournament. And I actually had a good friend, my buddy Thomas. He went to the tournament last summer, I believe, and then bought this for me. And it was really kind. I think it's more widely available now, I would imagine. I'm not sure about that, but I think it is. OJO says it's currently going on. Maybe it is. Um, yeah, I think you can get it more in other places now. But this is an interesting fragrance. It has a lot of finger lime in it, which is kind of a hard note to pin down. Lime, yes, but there's some other things in here. There's actually like this clay court accord, which I don't know how they're achieving that exactly. but this does have something kind of unusual about it. There's almost this like creamy, kind of clay-like feel, but it is mostly fresh, but not overly fresh. It's a little bitter, but also kind of sweet, but not really. It's hard to explain. It's different. I really was surprised by this fragrance. So I hope you can get it for a good price out there. A lot of Lacoste you can find for cheap. So if you can find this discounted somewhere and you're looking for something a little different, again, not the most off the wall, but not what you would expect from a Lacoste bottle. This is one to check out. Again, that's the Roland Garros edition of Lacoste Blanc. Something I would easily wear casually. This is daytime casual wear. It could be a little bit more smartly dressed because it's a little unique. There's something interesting about it. So it does make it quite versatile. That is the Roland Garros edition of L1212 Blanc. Okay. And moving forward into number 14, this is coming from the house of Tom Ford. Now, I'm realizing I have some weird order happening in my list here that I did not intend to do. I meant to include this Tom Ford fragrance as a designer fragrance. No, I didn't. I remember now. I'm including this as a niche pick. I don't know what I was thinking there. I got a little turned around. This is a niche pick because although Tom Ford is a designer brand, this fragrance profile is not mainstream. So therefore, this is not a mainstream fragrance. This is a niche fragrance. This is called Oud Minérale. When I first smelled this, didn't like it. Not I can't just say that outright. I found it extremely interesting, but I just did not know how I would wear it. This is a smoky, woody aquatic. It's kind of dark, it's kind of enigmatic, it's mysterious. It paints a picture in my mind of like a very, tumultuous ocean in a storm, or just like there's a darkness of water in this fragrance. It is a stunning scent, not an ounce of sweetness here. This is dry, but also wet at the same time. It is an aquatic. There's something seaweedy about it. There is something smoky and woody about it. It is a little fresh, but not bright. It's dark fresh. That's what I would call it. Very interesting stuff. Something I would wear more dressed up because of how specific this scent profile is. It's not a mix of all the most appealing elements that it's going to appeal to everyone. Not at all. This is something that you wear when you want to make a statement, when you want to present confidence in a way that is not like every other person. I might wear this specifically at night, but it is not too heavy to wear during the day. But the profile is dark, so I think I would reserve it for the nighttime. Anyway, that's Tom Ford Oud Minérale. Moving up next, we have from the house of Dior, our next designer pick. I think this is number 13, if I'm not mistaken. 12, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. I'm having a hard time keeping track of these numbers. Let's see here. Smoky Seaweed. Yeah, it's good stuff. Does Oud Minérale have a more mineral/wet concrete smell, or is it more aquatic? Adam, it's definitely more aquatic, more so than it is mineral. Mineral, yeah, kind of, but it's more of like a saltiness, if anything, more so. But even then, it's less. It's not outright salty. Give best niche for Jim. Whatever fresh fragrance you like. That's from a niche house. You could wear it to the gym. And a lot of these maybe can fit, as you'll see. Adam, yeah, it is a little salty, but I wouldn't equate it to like smelling like rocks or like concrete or anything like that. It's more like seaweedy, slightly fishy water, but in the best way. You're on 12 for future you. Stephen, I'm not exactly sure what that means. Anyway, coming from Dior, here at number 12, this is Dior Homme Cologne. A fragrance that I don't find the most interesting, but I find it extremely easy to wear, and it's very pleasant and it's very refreshing. People say it's like lemonade. Kinda. Yeah, it is like this super bright kind of, I think there's neroli in here, so it's fresh, almost orangey in a way, but lemony at the same time. It's kind of bitter citrus. It is a little juicy. It is so fresh. It's a little musky. It's simple, but so well done and something that shines with heat. It smells so good when it's warm and it will literally uplift you. It's like a drink of water, honestly. It smells wonderful. That is Dior Homme Cologne. So much has been said about it, so I will save you some time saying more about it. Up next, our niche pick coming from the house of BDK. This is a fragrance that I would also possibly reserve for the nighttime because it's a little bit heavier, it's a little dense, it's quite sweet. It might get a little cloying under the sun, but it might be okay. I haven't tried it yet. We haven't had an outright hot day here, and I think it might actually be okay. The fresher elements might keep it transparent. This is so good. This was a wow for me. This is breaking 10 out of 10 territory. This is Gris Charnel. Fig, sandalwood, maybe some vanilla. It is both kind of tropical fruity, but sweet, creamy, and then it turns into like this almost musky, dusty woodiness in the deep dry down. That's a complete change from the start. It smells sexy. I have the new Extrait de Parfum as well. That's a little bit, that's quite darker, nowhere near as fresh. I might still wear that in the summertime, also at night, but I would probably reach for this one more when it is warm. Perfectly unisex. There's something sexy about it. There's something very alluring and almost intoxicating about it, which is why I want to wear it at night when I'm dressed a little bit more nice or maybe a little bit more, I don't know, attractive. Smells wonderful. That is Gris Charnel from BDK. Okay, we're moving. We got a lot of fragrances we've talked about so far. Hope you guys have enjoyed thus far. Will you try the new summer vibes? I'm not sure if I will, Jean. I heard it just came out. Malco, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Safe, Nathan. Yeah, it's wonderful. Safe, Nathan. No ring on the finger. I got a ring. I'm just sitting here on a Saturday. I haven't put it on yet, man. Give me a break. What do I think about wearing Mojave Ghost to the gym? Madik, I don't go to the gym, so I'm not really the person to ask about that. But Mojave Ghost would be a great pick because it's not too heavy. And as long as you like it, that's what matters. If you love the way it smells and you don't find it overwhelming, that's a great combination to wear it to the gym. All right, moving on to our next designer pick, our next mainstream pick. This is coming from Burberry, and this is kind of an older choice. This came out several years ago. This is one that's not being talked about much anymore, but it's a little bit of a different take on the blue genre. It's different. I love that. Patchouli stands out to me more in this fragrance than you might find in a blue fragrance, which is an odd standout note. There's a little bit of a bitter earthiness in here, but it's also fresh and spicy, a little citrusy, a little clean. It's all the elements you would expect, but there's a twist. This is Mr. Burberry. This was perfumed by Francis Kirkjohn, master perfumer. Knows what he's doing, made something a little different. I appreciate that. Yes, easy to wear. You could wear it day or night. You could dress it up or down. It's not going to perform all that great, but it's not the worst. But there's something a little bit unusual about it, and I like that. Again, the slightly bitter earthiness in there that's a little damp, a little bit dark, but still mostly a fresh, clean, almost out of the shower scent, but way more interesting than something like Dylan Blue from Versace, at least for me. That is Mr. Burberry, and you can get it pretty dang cheap. So, one I'm still recommend. I also have the Eau de Parfum, which is nice. I might reserve that more for the nighttime. Okay, moving on, moving on. Just making sure I didn't miss anything. Oh yeah, there's tea. I forgot to mention. I knew I was missing a note. There's like a black tea note in Gris Charnel. Beautiful combination of elements. Okay. As you probably have seen from several folks already, if you guys do have a really burning question, a way to get my attention here on the screen is with Super Chat, because it pops up as this very bright, colorful bubble that I can't miss. Otherwise, all the comments kind of look the same, so I might miss your question unless I go and scroll all the way back and things like that. So that's something you can do. Okay, moving up next, our next niche pick. Gorgeous stuff. In fact, I love to wear this. Grace also loves to wear this. She wore this yesterday. It smelled wonderful on her. And although it doesn't have a ton of presence in terms of its bubble, it lasts longer than you might think, especially if you get it on your clothes or even in your hair. It'll last maybe up to 8 hours. No, not guaranteed, but it's going to stick around. There's some legs here, but it is a relatively light scent. This is called L'Humaniste, my little tester bottle from Frapin. One of my absolute favorite juniper berry / gin fragrances. Juniper berry is what is used to make gin, and it is bitter, it is sharp, it is fresh, almost piney in a way. It is also a bit cooling. Citrus, juniper berry, gin, mouth-watering, uplifting. It reminds me of a beautiful sunny day on the beach, but it does have a classiness to it, I gotta say. But it's also quite versatile. This is simply beautiful. If you want to uplift your mood, this is a great way to do it. Definitely get you a sample of L'Humaniste. I've loved it ever since I first smelled it. I smelled it years ago, and I got a bottle maybe about a year ago, and I absolutely enjoy this stuff. For the summertime, it is quite perfect. So that is our 2019, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. Our ninth pick? Dang, we're at number 9. We're moving. Okay. I'm going to go back, see if I can find some comments and some questions. How do I spell that last one before Burberry Gris Charnel? That's how you spell it. Alrighty. There are pigeons outside. Spray them with Xerjoff Bois. Azad, they don't deserve that. That's mean. When could we expect to see the next skit? I'm not sure, Adrian. I've been thinking about the skits, and I'm not sure exactly where I'm going to go with that because I haven't seen as much engagement as I'd like. Okay. Moving on. Our next designer pick, I believe this is 876. Yeah, number 8. Number 8. Let's see. I feel I'm almost tempted to make a switch here. No. Okay. This is coming from Rochas. Pardon me for that. And this is new to my collection. I have to say I'm really enjoying it. I find it quite interesting, even though it is super easy to wear. It's leaning on the simple side, but it is not your typical blue fragrance, even though the bottle is blue. This is L'Homme Rochas. This is both fresh with kind of a sweet warmth all at the same time. There's a beautiful pineapple note in here, mixed with a bit of this aromatic freshness. I don't remember all the notes in here, and it dries in a bit of a basic way. It's kind of your standard, almost tonka bean like sweet dry down. But all in all, the profile is different. It's fresh, it's clean, but it's sweet and almost seductive and very handsome smelling. Something I would wear maybe on a date at night in the summer. The warmth, I think, is really going to make it come to life. But because it does have some richer elements to it, it actually works all year round. So this is a solid, versatile, kind of all-season fragrance, but I think it's going to do great with some heat. It doesn't last a terribly long time for me. I think I was getting maybe 6-7 hours, but honestly, I'm not complaining. That's perfect for me. So L'Homme Rochas, again, part of my recent haul, and it was a solid blind buy, I gotta say, especially for the price. I think I paid like $17. So you can get it pretty cheaply on the discounters. All righty. Okay, moving up. Now, I wanted to make a swap here because I wasn't really thinking thoroughly when I placed this in this spot. I put this as the niche pick for number 8 or 7, whatever this is. This is number 7. However, this is a mainstream profile. It does come from a niche house, but this is not, at least to me, a niche fragrance because it smells like some designer fragrances that I've smelled before. It smells like a little bit similar to something like, I think, Acqua Essenziale Blue from Ferragamo, and maybe a couple of other things. It smells like a mix of a bunch of very easy to wear, kind of blue, clean, safe designer fragrances, but with a slightly elevated quality. So I got to say, it's maybe worth the money. Not full retail, no, but definitely worth the money discounted, or at least we're getting a decant. Parfum de Marley. Yes, I saw someone call it. Who was that? Safe Nathan. Yes, this is Sedley, a fragrance that I really enjoy. I am sure that all that prefacing I just did made it sound like I don't like this fragrance, but it is way up here on the list because I do wear it a lot. I will be wearing it a lot. I don't know if you can see, but I put a little bit of a hefty dent in this 120 milliliter, 125 milliliter bottle. I've worn this thing probably upwards of 40 different times since I've had it over the past 2 years or so. I think it's wonderful. It smells great. It smells super fresh. It smells citrusy. I get like this sweet mandarin orange. I get mint in here. It's almost like this kind of sugary, like crushed sugary freshness with mint and orange and some musks and things like that. It's kind of sexy too. There's a sexiness to it. It's like sexy clean. I would wear this day or night. It could actually do really well at night. Um, it smells wonderful. I can't knock it for the scent, but it is not super interesting. It's not the most special. Okay, I'm seeing some super chats. Tammy, thank you so much. Made it to the work parking lot. Can we agree Burlington 1819 kicks butt? Tammy, just you wait. That one may or may not be coming up next. So thank you for the preemptive comment about it. John Joseph, thank you so much. Or is it Gene Joseph? I'm not sure, but thank you for your super chat. I prefer Renaissance, and you'll see later on. You guys know me, it seems, and you didn't even know that you knew me. Don't you decant a lot for friends? I don't really decant because I don't have a ton of friends in town that wear fragrance like this. So I wear them. Grace wears them. If people come over, they get to try them out, but otherwise, it's a pretty small bubble. Okay. Let's see. Again, if you have a burning comment or a question and you really want me to see it, you can use Super Chat. That'll really get my attention. And thank you for those of you who've already done so. Luis Gonzalez, thank you again. Have I tried Greenlee? I have tried Greenlee. I think I talked about it in a video a year or two ago. I have a decant. It's not my favorite from the house of Parfum Marley. I gotta say, I think it's mostly my association. It smells kind of like a shampoo that I used to use as a kid. And because of that, I can't really enjoy it. It just reminds me of being like 12 years old. It smells really nice, has like a beautiful green apple feel, and it's fresh and kind of fruity, but it's not my favorite. I have to maybe try it again, but I don't. I don't know. Maybe I will. It's okay. It's nice, but I have others I like more. I actually like Sedley a lot more than I do Greenlee. Okay, moving on. Oh, what's up, Ross? Good to see you, bro. Uh, okay, moving on. This is a mainstream pick. Again, I do consider this mainstream. So we have kind of like two mainstream picks right next to each other. So forgive me for that. This is coming from Hermes, their newest release for men that came out last year. I don't find it very interesting, but I find it very pleasant, very easy to wear, and it performs better than it did now. It performs better now than it did when I got it somehow. It doesn't smell exactly like everything else out there, at least at first spray. When it dries, it does become a little bit more conventional. But H24, not bad at all. Not a bad scent. Not bad, especially considering a lot of the modern designer fragrances out there. This is not a flanker, so I appreciate that. Even though Hermes, no, they did just come out with a new Terre d'Hermes flanker. I forgot. Haven't tried it yet, but this is their newest, I guess, standalone new DNA, and I do appreciate brands for putting out new DNAs. This is green. It's kind of citrusy. It's kind of metallic, minerally in a way. It comes off as quite simple, but it is a little interesting. As it dries again, it gets a little bit more boring to me, but really pleasant, very easy to wear, has a little bit of a classy vibe, so you could kind of dress it up, but you could also just wear it casually. It does fine. H24, get it excuse me, get it discounted if you can. I bought this retail when it came out, hoping I would love it. I don't love it, but I do like it. It's really nice. Wonder when we'll get a flanker for H24. I would actually be surprised if we got a flanker, not because it's not doing well. I'm sure it's selling well, but actually, you know what? We could actually use a flanker. The DNA to me does not really come off as a standout as much as something like Terre d'Hermes. Terre d'Hermes was such a solid foundation of something we've never smelled before, really, and it was fertile ground for so many different takes on that DNA. There's not a lot going on in H24, so they could add more to it and make it flankers in that regard, but the foundation itself is kind of basic. But if we see a flanker, I'll try it because I'm interested. I do like Hermes. um let's see. Let's see. DVDs. Well, yeah, it is a little linear. I agree with that. Okay. Yes. Okay. Bleu de Chanel or Dylan Blue. I prefer Bleu de Chanel. Alrighty. Cashmere Funk. I think you came in here earlier, but I missed you. Thank you for passing through. Good to see you, bro. All right. We're moving into the top five. Before we do the top five, actually, I'm going to do a couple honorable mentions that I actually meant to do at the very beginning, but I missed the train at the start, so I figured, okay, I'll just tag them in before the top five. First honorable mention is going to this fragrance, Tabac 28 from Le Labo. This is kind of a strange choice, but I think the profile, the personality actually fits the summertime, especially at night. This is tobacco, this is rum and spices. It's smoky, it's spicy, it's warm, a little sweet, it's boozy, it's woody. It is an honorable mention because it's very hard to get. You can only buy a full bottle in Miami unless it's the month of September where you can buy it at any major Le Labo store or online. But even then, when you can buy it, it is extremely expensive. But boy, is this stuff incredible to me. It is so freaking good, and it's a perfect summer night fragrance. There's a playfulness to it, but there's this grown quality to it. So I wouldn't call it a formal fragrance. I would call it something I would wear on a more casual night out, but it's not something that I think a lot of young people will really care about because it is quite authentically tobacco. Okay, that is Tabac 28, one of our honorable mentions. We have one more honorable mention. Ahmed, thank you for the super chat. Thank you so much for the congratulations. What do I think about Hermes Eau d'Orange Vert Intense? I've only tried Eau d'Orange Vert. I have not tried the intense version, if I'm not mistaken. So I can't really speak to that. If I'm remembering that there are two versions, maybe it was the intense version that I tried, but I don't think so. And I remember liking it. I think it's a classic. It's been around a long time, and there's something special about it, but I do need to revisit that. But thank you for reminding me of that fragrance. All righty. Madik, I see you asking this question for like maybe the third time. I actually answered your question already, maybe like 10 minutes ago. I said that Mojave Ghost is a great scent to wear to the gym if you love it. It's not very strong, it's pretty light. So if you love it and it's not overwhelming to you, go ahead and wear it. That's basically what I said before. Okay, moving on to the top five. Now, Tammy, I know you mentioned Raja 1819, and that is our number five choice. This is a stunning fragrance from Raja. One of the reasons why I love it so much is that it doesn't really remind me of anything else. Some people can tie his fragrances to other things, even though you cannot deny the quality of his fragrances. But this smells like nothing else to me. I think there might be a Javois scent that may have come out in the same year, that came out kind of next to each other, that people say smells similar. But I haven't smelled that. Nonetheless, they came out in the same year, so we can't say one copied the other. And even then, the similarity might be marginal. This is such a beautiful mix of elements. It is bright citrus. It is mouth-watering. It's rum. There's a boozy quality in here that almost warms the fragrance, gives a little bit of a nice sweetness in there. And as it dries down, you get some spices. I think there's a bit of cumin in here that makes it maybe a little bit polarizing. Not everyone's going to like that, but it adds a sexy quality to it if you're asking me. Quite a complex fragrance. If it's kind of like in the realm of something like Uden, but way more complex. No coffee, more rum, more citrus. There's a warmth in here. There's a sweetness in here. There's a sexy, spicy quality. It's really special. And although it is quite elegant, it's something that you can wear almost any time. There's a beautiful versatility to a scent like this. It does smell confident and it smells of the highest quality. That is 1819 Burlington, really beautiful. Just perfect for the summertime. Ross says he gets a lot of musk. Yeah, definitely some musk. In fact, I don't get a ton of musk on my skin. I've actually had some people get the fragrance and then come back to me and say, "Hey, man, all I get is musk." I'm like, man, I can't speak for that. That's just how different our skin can be. I don't get a ton of musk, but it's definitely in there playing a role, making it a little bit sexy. Philosikos is beautiful. In fact, I meant to include it in this video, but I forgot. It's in here somewhere. Okay, moving on to number four. We're getting close to the cutoff time. This is coming from Lalique. This is one of the cheaper fragrances on the list for sure, and in addition to a few others that we've already talked about. And again, I'll go back after the fact and try to link to each of these fragrances individually as much as I can find them. Again, this is coming from Lalique, and this is called Linsumi. Also, rum. Now, here's what I will say. By the nature of this list being an alternating mainstream niche, I'm not really saying I prefer this to 1819. I actually like 1819 more than this, but I'm almost more ranking all my 10 designer fragrances as a separate top 10, and then all the niche fragrances as a separate top 10, only ranked within each other. But I'm not really pairing designers and niche against each other, so to speak. But even then, the list is not absolute. It doesn't mean this is better than that. It's just how I put the video together. Anyway, this is rum. This is basil. I think it's basil. Yeah, there's a pretty strong herbal quality in here mixed with this almost sugary sweet rum. I know rum comes from sugar, but there's like this crushed sugar feel that really gives it a beautiful texture. It smells very fun. It smells very playful. And it smells a little bit different, especially for the price. You can find this thing probably under 40 bucks. And it's a beautiful fragrance for a hot day out. It has a little bit, again, of a playful vibe. So you could maybe wear it on a casual night out, and it's going to do just well, especially in darker colors. It smells just really fun and sexy and playful, and but also, again, not like everything else. Really nice. That is Lalique Linsumi. Again, I'll be coming back later with all the names in the description. I just didn't have time to do it before I started the live stream. Okay, let's see. Making sure I'm not missing anything. Ross, thank you. Modik, do you have the video on mute or something? I don't know what's going on. But I'm not answering your question again. I'm sorry. You can go back and watch the replay, and I answered it twice. Okay. Next up, number 3. I forgot to do my second uh, honorable mention. I'll get to it before number 1. We'll put some drama in there. Number 3 on the list is Creed Viking Cologne. Now, some of you might be highly surprised to see this. In the video that I mentioned earlier that will be coming up next week with Grace, this is in the video. And all I'm going to say is that you might enjoy what she has to say about this. But for me speaking personally, and I've mentioned this actually not long ago, maybe in the past few months, this has changed for me. I used to not really care for it. I found it very underwhelming. I found it very unlike the original. And it was just simple and boring and just kind of a head scratcher. It almost reminded me of like a toilet cleaner. But it has evolved, it has macerated, as it said in the bottle, over the past year or so, and it has really opened up and really come into its own. And I think we get the true smell of it after it sits. Wow, I can't deny I love this stuff. I don't love it more than the original Viking, which I like to save for more spring and summer. I'm sorry, spring and fall. But this is gonna give me my Viking fix in the summertime. It does have the resemblance of the original Viking, that kind of clean, masculine barbershop feel, fresh and spicy and citrusy and woody, but it is just made fresher. It's made more of a cologne style, more citruses, less, you know, deep woods. This still does have, I believe, lavender, so it is quite clean, almost soapy. There's an interesting spicy musk to it that kind of makes it stand out. It does smell still a little bit, has that reminiscent quality of the toilet cleaner vibe. But if you can imagine that element just being refined, which sounds weird, but it's better. It's just somehow got better. And I really enjoy it. It's very expensive. Also, I do get a lot of vetiver in here. I'm getting it now in the paper. Woody, bitter, earthy vetiver that just adds to the depth of the scent. Definitely worth getting a decant. Do not blind buy this. It is an easy fragrance to wear. It will, I think, perform pretty well, especially now that my bottle has gotten stronger. Not everyone may love it, but a lot of people will. But definitely sample first because Creed's prices are going through the roof. That is Creed Viking Cologne. Really enjoying it. I enjoy it. Number 2. Yeah, we are taking up a lot of time. Thank you guys for sticking around. Really appreciate 170 of you here in the stream. We got 105 likes. I think we can maybe get some more likes if you want to. Those of you who've given a super chat, really appreciate you. You guys really do help to directly support Stay Fresh Productions and keep this channel going and allow me to continue to get new fragrances and the collection to share with you here in videos. And if you don't want to give a super chat, then at the very least, please like the video, and that'll help at least with the algorithm. Okay. Ross, yeah, totally. I'm really surprised and I'm so grateful for you all. Okay, number 2. Someone asked about this earlier. I saw it in a comment. I didn't address it because I knew I'd be getting to it later. I took this on my mini moon with Grace recently. We went to San Diego. It was one of 2 fragrances that I brought with me. And I wore it like 6 times. I've worn it like 6 or 7 times since I got it like a week ago, which is unheard of for me. It was just the nature of only having 2 fragrances to wear, and we're going out every day. So I would throw it on, I would reapply it later in the day, and I wore it a lot. And I got to know it pretty well. Grace even wore it, so I got to smell it off of her and really get to experience it externally as well. The new Dior Homme Sport 2021. The more I've worn it, I really enjoy this stuff. I already enjoyed the original Dior Homme 2020. And this is that vibe, citrus freshness with this kind of sexy elemy resin woodiness, a lot of ISOE super. So there's this, again, very woody vibe that is not the most natural, but still smells really great. And it helps it project well. This stuff smells great in the air. We went cycling. I think we biked like 18 miles one of the days we were there, all around the city. And I reapplied it at one point during the day when we took a break and we were biking really fast. And Grace was behind me. She said she could smell it in the air. And I was smelling it around me. And it smells great. It smells super simple. It smells perhaps a little bit more interesting than the original Homme 2020, which I still love. But as it dries, it gets kind of this strange, almost weird, musky, woody quality to it that the other one doesn't get. It gets a little darker. It gets kind of this rough edge to it that's hard to explain. In fact, I find the original 2020 more sporty than this. It's not all that different from the original. It just has a slight twist. So if you have the original, I don't think you need to get this. But I can say I really enjoyed it. It performed better than I thought it would. Sometimes I could smell it the next day, even after going to sleep, all on the pillow and stuff, and then waking up, I can still smell it. So 8 hours of longevity at the very least for me. But I gotta say I enjoy it. If you don't have the original 2020 and you're thinking about which one to get, you could go either way. But I can vouch for the sport. It's good. Ahmed, thank you so much. Will you come out with more of your own fragrances? I would absolutely love to. Ross, yeah, I think I definitely, one thing I will say, I do prefer this to the 2017 version, which I don't have anymore. I had that years ago. This is a little bit more interesting to me than that. So it is an upgrade for me. Rip the Jacker 23, thank you for the super chat. Have I tried any Wilhelm perfumery? I have not. I've been meaning to try them for a long time. I There's many on my list. One of them I know is the most popular, being Morning Chest. I want to check that out. Okay, before we reveal our number one pick, I'll talk about my final honorable mention. And this is an honorable mention. Actually, this is in relation to Ahmed's question. You cannot buy this anymore, but this is my personal list, and I will be wearing this a lot because I think it works all year round, especially in the summertime with some warmth. I wouldn't really wear it during the daytime. There's other profiles I might reach for first, but at night, this stuff is perfect for me. This is my fragrance, Brass and Soul. Yes, it's an honorable mention. Again, I'm not going to say go out and buy it because you can't really go out and buy it. And even if you can find it online, I wouldn't pay the money that people are asking for it. I love this stuff. Citrusy, boozy, a little bit aquatic and soapy, but it dries with this sweet, ambery warmth, a little bit of smokiness in there, leather. It's complex, but a very easy to wear fragrance, lasts a long time for me, and it actually gives me a lot of positive feedback. Anyway, that's an honorable mention. If you have tried Brass and Soul, I appreciate you for supporting me and for supporting Zaharoff, who I'm eternally grateful for to make that a possibility. Let me know down in the comments what you think of it if you tried it. Our number one spot from the house, I'm not going to say the house yet, it might make it obvious, but this fragrance was a 10 out of 10, if I remember, to me when I first smelled it. And now that I have a bottle of it, I reviewed it years ago from a decant. I have a bottle of it now. I love it. It it is like one of the most perfect summer fragrances for me. It is both casual, it is also kind of classy. It is uplifting, but there's depth here. There's a richness here. There's a warm sweetness in here that's slight, but it does give it some legs. But it has a beautiful, uplifting citrus and mint, and it performs. It is fresh and it sticks around all day. Renaissance from Xerjoff. This is a stunner to me. A lot of people like Neo. Some people choose between these and this one and Neo in terms of like the best summery Xerjoff. I know a lot of people talk about that new one that came out that I can't remember the name of. I haven't tried it. This is stunning. This is stunning stuff to me. This is the highest quality freshness in terms of citrus and mint, in terms of something that has depth, in terms of something that sticks around. You can wear it any time of the day. It's a banger in the summertime. I think it's beautiful. That is Renaissance. Let me know if you have tried this. I know a lot of you have. Um, I'm loving it. I have a bottle of it finally over the past, as of the last month or so, and I am really digging it. Okay, Spider FN, do I dislike Carlisle? I don't dislike Carlisle anymore. I actually gave it a full wearing in the winter time and I liked it more. When there's warmth to it of any kind, it turns bitter on my skin, but as long as it's cool, it smells great. So I do enjoy it. Not my favorite from the house, but I do enjoy it. Okay, unfortunately, I have to get going here. I have to get ready for some things going on this afternoon on this beautiful, gloomy, rainy Saturday. But I want to thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for hanging out with me on this long live stream to hear me talk about all these fragrances. Again, I will be coming back later to include the entire list of what I talked about in the description. If you missed anything, hopefully you'll be able to go down there and check it out when I get it in there shortly. So I want to thank you so much. Those of you, again, who hung out the whole time, or if you just joined in late, that's fine. Go watch the replay and you'll get a ton of fragrance recommendations if you're looking for some new stuff for the summertime. Thank you once again. Peace.